Good afternoon, I'm Kara Rucker. The time is now 12 o'clock on this Tuesday. Our top story, the suspect in the Colorado gay nightclub shooting has formally been charged by officials. This is your midday update. The shooter is facing 5 counts of first-degree murder and 5 hate crime charges. He will remain in custody without bail. 5 people were killed on November 19th. Another 22 people at Club Q that night were injured during the mass shooting. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts announcing today he is seeking a Senate seat soon to be vacated by Senator Ben Sasse. Sasse submitted his resignation letter on Monday, saying he will leave office on January 8th. The term-limited Republican governor will submit his application for consideration, where the incoming governor will decide what candidate will become the next senator.
On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you. Thank you for protecting our Capitol. Maybe even more importantly, for protecting our Constitution.
Today, law enforcement officers in Washington, D.C. will be presented with congressional gold medals. It comes about a year since President Biden announced the officers present at the Capitol on January 6th would be awarded with Congress's highest honor. U.S. Capitol Police and Metropolitan Police are credited for stopping a breach of the Capitol building that happened almost 2 years ago. The U.S. has sent $20 billion worth of aid to Ukraine since President Biden took office. A new poll asked Americans if they agree with the support being sent to the war-torn region. More than 2/3 of Americans agree with the funneling of arms and aid being sent to Ukraine. But with the war in Ukraine now in its 10th month with no end in sight, Americans are split over whether Washington should urge Ukraine into accepting a peace settlement. 47% of Americans, or nearly half of those polled, say Ukraine needs to better attempt ending the war. The general consensus is Americans largely support helping Ukraine, but hope the help is only temporary. The rental car company Hertz will pay $168 million to settle hundreds of claims from customers who were accused of stealing rental cars. The car company falsely reported customers to authorities, claiming they stole and never returned their rental cars. Some of those customers even spending weeks or months in jail. Hertz previously said in a statement the vast majority of these cases involve customers who were late returning their vehicle. Many Americans get their news headlines from social media, but imagine a world where news has no place on social media platforms. Facebook's parent company Meta is warning they could strip news completely off its social media platforms if Congress passes a bill that would open the door for news agencies to get a cut of ad revenue social media sites earn off of its news content. Meta responded with this, quote, "The Journalism Competition and Preservation Act fails to recognize the key fact. Publishers and broadcasters put their content on our platform themselves because it benefits their bottom line." That bill is now intertwined with the defense bill. Leaders in Congress said the defense bill will pass this month, which would then trigger this measure to take effect. As people continue to work from home, the U.S. is dealing with what's being called an office apocalypse. The pandemic has cleared out office spaces across the country. A new report has half of offices in the U.S. unoccupied. Before the pandemic, 95% of offices were in use, but today it's closer to 47%. Now a developer in New York is raising money to turn empty office towers into apartments and condos. Converting the empty buildings into residential properties could help combat New York's housing crisis. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back with your latest headlines tomorrow morning. Until then, from the heartland of America, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.